This is Love Notes, daily devotions from Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. Grace and peace to you. Our text today is John chapter 7, verses 25 through 36. And the conflict in Jerusalem over Jesus' teaching continues. It says, "Now some of the people of Jerusalem were saying, 'Is not this the man whom they are trying to kill?'" Apparently everybody knows they're trying to kill Jesus. "And here he is now," they say, "speaking openly. He's right there in public, right before our eyes. And yet they don't do anything to him. If they're going to kill him, why don't they kill him?" And now, because conspiracy theories are as old as human history itself, they say, can it be that the authorities really know that this is the Messiah? Maybe they do, down deep. I suggest that they probably won't admit that. There is too much that keeps them from seeing the Messiah in Jesus. He's not what they expected. He's not what they hoped for. He doesn't mesh with their understanding, and so therefore he cannot be the Messiah. The people go on, yet we know where this man is from. But when the Messiah comes, no one will know where he is from. In other words, we know he's from up in Galilee, and their understanding is that when the Messiah shows up, the Messiah will be from kind of nowhere. That's not really what the prophet said, but it seems to be a popular teaching. Then Jesus cried out as he was teaching in the temple, "You know me, and you know where I am from. I haven't come on my own." Now there's two layers of meaning here. There are lots of people who know who Jesus is. He's Joseph and Mary's boy from Galilee. He's been up there doing all sorts of crazy stuff, saying all sorts of crazy things, and now he's come here. They think they know who he is and where he comes from. Jesus is saying, "You know who I am and where I come from, because shame on you if you don't. I am from the Father. I am from the Word made flesh, incarnate, standing before you. That's who I am. And if you read the scriptures, if you've listened to Moses, if you've worshiped the one living God, then you know exactly who I am, but you're rejecting me." See, there's two meanings going on here. "I have not come on my own," Jesus says, "but the one who sent me is true. And you do not know him either." Well, there's the rub, huh? If you don't know the God who sent Jesus, if you've constructed that God to your own liking, to your own way of being, if that God is all about, supporting the things that you find most valuable and has nothing to do with what Moses and the prophets taught, well, then you wouldn't know me either. You wouldn't know God if you bumped into God on the street because you just did and you don't know me. That's basically what Jesus is saying. So it says they tried to arrest him, but no one laid hands on him because his hour had not yet come. God isn't ready for this to happen. They try to arrest him, but for whatever reason they can't. Divine providence is protecting Jesus because his work isn't done yet. His hour isn't here, and God won't allow it. But then in verse 31, it says, "Yet many in the crowd believed in him, trusted him, dwelt in him, and were saying, 'When the Messiah comes, will he do more signs than this man has done?'" I think that's a rhetorical question. In other words, they've seen enough, and I don't think they think anybody would perform more than Jesus has done. He's fulfilled the quota for what a Messiah should do, and they are ready to trust. The Pharisees hear that this is all going on, and of course they get upset, and so they send the temple police to arrest him. Jesus then says, Whether it's to the temple police or just to the people who know the temple police are coming, we're not sure. I will be with you a little while longer, and then I am going to him who sent me. You will search for me, but you will not find me, and where I am, you cannot come. Now, as readers of the gospel, we know exactly what he's saying here. I'm going to the cross, I'm going to die, and I will be raised again, and you won't be able to find me unless I let you find me. Where I am going, in other words, you can't come. But the Jews, like Nicodemus, like the woman at the well when she initially met Jesus, don't get what he's saying. Where does this man intend to go that we will not find him? After all, we're the mighty, powerful temple police. Does he intend to go to the dispersion among the Greeks and teach the Greeks? In other words, is he going to leave Jerusalem and go out into the world and teach the Greeks? Funny you should ask, Jesus might have said at this point, because that's exactly what's going to happen. But it's not going to happen in the way you think. What does he mean by saying you will search for me, but you will not find me? Where I am, you cannot come. Well, the joke is on them. In the prologue, once again, it said that Jesus came into the world as the Word made flesh dwelling among us. He brought light, and they chose darkness. He came as their God, and they rejected him. They couldn't find the Son of God, the Word made flesh, Jesus, the Messiah, because they're blind, and they're deaf, and they're dumb. They can't speak because they don't see or hear. This ironic question is a question for all of us. What does Jesus mean to us when he says, you will search for me, but you will not find me? Where I am, you cannot come because you don't see the way. Those are the questions we answer this day, or at least we struggle with. Amen.